Welcome, friends. It is late spring, early summer, which means there is a lot of rhubarb out in the garden. So today I'm going to make something that is essentially a rhubarb compote on the bottom with a thin, airy cake on top. So the first thing is to chop up all of this rhubarb, and I just give it a rough chop. And I don't peel my rhubarb. I know a lot of people do, but it's just not something that my family ever did when I was growing up, and so I just don't bother to do it now. So I'm going to chop this all up and get it into this pot. Now into that I also put some sugar, and as a thickener I put minute tapioca. Now you don't need to put water in here. There's enough water that will be released almost immediately from the rhubarb. And you just want to stir it around, and you want to cook this until the rhubarb starts to break down and the sugar is fully dissolved. You don't have to cook it all the way down because we are going to bake it in the oven for about an hour, hour and a half. So I'm just going to let that simmer away a little bit while I move on to the cake portion. First thing, baking powder and flour, and we just give that a stir to mix it together. And now in this bowl, we're going to cream together some butter and sugar. Next in is 2 eggs. We'll just cream those in as well. Looking good. So now we're going to zest in 1 lemon. I find lemon goes great with rhubarb, but so does ginger. So if you wanted to put some ginger in this, I think that would work really well. So I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of lemon juice and just catch the seeds with your fingers. It'll be okay. And we'll just beat that in. Looking good. We are now done with the beater. That tastes fantastic. So I need about 1/3 cup of milk. And now we just mix in the flour and the milk a little bit at a time, alternating between the two, just to mix this into a nice cake batter. The batter is done, the rhubarb is ready. Now it's time to assemble this. So we put the rhubarb in the bottom of this baking dish. And I've put this on a baking tray because it probably will bubble over. And then on top, we put the cake. And then into the oven.
All right, so cake.
Rhubarb pudding cake.
Which is perfect because it's rhubarb season.
It is rhubarb season now. Let's see.
It looks like a bit like a. What is the apple that you put the cake on top?
Oh yeah. I don't know what that's called.
It's not apple crisp. It's apple.
Brown Betty? Is that an apple Brown Betty? What's
Maybe.
that?
We've made one. But this is almost like sauce and cake. Now that I'm looking at it,
It is.
we
Now,
all know how much we like sauce and cake.
So getting the cake onto the really liquidy rhubarb at the beginning was a little bit difficult.
Is that why
so
you've got
that's why I've got
okay.
the divots around it. So I wouldn't put it on that way again.
What would you do differently?
I'd put it on with a smaller spoon. I put on a couple of big dollops, and that was no problem.
Really, you went with the giant dollop method.
But you know what? Doesn't matter. Tastes amazing. Tart sour rhubarb, which I really like. It's not overpowered by too much sugar, which sometimes you can get a cloying sweetness on the bottom of
Yes.
rhubarb. And the cake. just a hint of lemon in the cake, which sort of balances it out a little bit somehow. I don't know why. Because it's two tart sour things.
Two tart things.
But yet it works together.
And of course, I suspect if you like many people who find it too tart,
Yeah.
you throw in strawberries, you throw in other fruits.
Um,
There's lots of ways.
other fruits on the bottom instead of rhubarb.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, or a mixture of other fruits like strawberry and rhubarb, or
Strawberry and rhubarb would be
rhubarb
amazing.
and blueberries,
Yeah.
but they're
Or-
not in the same season. But
No.
you know, the
And-
power of the freezer.
And you could also, I think I said this while I was making it, you could put ginger in this, in the cake. Or even ginger in the rhubarb. Ginger and rhubarb is just
I like ginger
amazing.
and rhubarb.
Yeah, it's really
A
good.
lot. So give it a try. Try new things. Let us know.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.